Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go ahead and update Bitcoin and dissect this a little bit. Check this out right here on the 4-hour RSI. Um, it's in a correction, obviously, so no reason to panic yet. There's no crash signals yet. Just it's a correction. Correction. Crash is different than a correction. This is a crash. No crash signals yet, not my opinion. So I'm actually pretty bullish, even more bullish on Bitcoin in 2023, especially after this correction, probably more so than I was probably 3 or 4 days ago. And one of the reasons why, and by the way, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated to help a brother grow his channel out here in YouTubes. You can go over to Twitter and talk to some of my followers that are making 2, 3, 4X's since June of 22. Okay. Now, there's some people that had asked, I think this guy's named Steve on Twitter, and just the frustration you're going on. Look, this is a frustrating time in the market because of all the chop and uncertainty that's going on in the market. And you have the interest rates are the big question, and the inflation, guys, the inflation. The market has already priced in those 3 rate hikes that the Fed plans on doing, the 25, the 25, and the 25 going into June of 23. It's priced in, guys. And what's not priced in my opinion, is maybe a 50 basis point rate hike surprise. And that could happen. You might have a correction probably right around that time. And that could happen too. Now, anything beyond that, in my opinion, is probably not priced in. But for everything you've heard in the media about the interest rates and things like that, it's all priced in. Now, the other thing is, too, you want to be aware of is once the Fed pauses, that's good news for the markets, not a pivot, a pause. That's where the interest rates are just going to stay even. So if the Fed raises the interest rates up to 5.5, they will stay at 5.5, okay, for say 6 months, 8 months, or 9 months, or 10 months, maybe even 2 years. We don't know yet, guys, okay? That's good for the markets, okay? Not the pivot, guys. The pivot, wherever the Fed does the pivot, will be the crash. Go look at the charts. The last 20 or 30 or 40 years, every time the Fed did a pivot, the markets just went up and it crashed, okay? Go check that data for yourself. So the market is set up to go up and to the right. Now, one of the reasons why I'm even more bullish is because I made a video yesterday, and it was about the Dow Jones Industrial over here, and it decided to show its hand right here, guys, and that RSI and a daily RSI coming down nice and deep. You can see the Dow Jones is going sideways more or less in there, right? But this little correction that it made is right here. And I always wondered right here, because what happened, I was like not really paying too much attention to the Dow Jones. I was keeping my eye on it. I remember when this happened and it whizzed out of there so strong. And I was like, I'm here in the crypto space. And this is what I'm waiting for Bitcoin or some crypto to do. And here's the Dow Jones Industrial doing it. It did it. It's like whizzed right up there. That's a strong wave, guys. That's a very strong wave. And then it went in here. But remember the time everybody thought it was a triangle? Remember that? It was a triangle for a little while. And the deal is with triangles, guys, is when it comes up, a triangle can only be a B wave or a fourth wave. There you have complex corrections too, where it can be a Y wave or anything. But primarily for a bullish sequence, it's either in a fourth wave or a B wave. And the argument was A, B, C, right? Because it was a triangle. But my thinking was it was like some sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was going up for a minor 5, and it was going to have a correction. But now we got a little change up right here, guys, in the Dow Jones Industrial, okay? And in my opinion, that's a wave 2. Wave 2. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that Dow Jones is going to correct in this wave 2 and do a moonshot. Dow Jones doesn't work like this. This is definitely not a cryptocurrency, except for here to there it was. So it's going into most likely a wave 3. And this is really, really going to surprise some people because they're thinking this is going to drop like a rock all the way down here. And it's the crash. Okay. And if you come over to this area right over here, Looks just the same, almost like that. Wave 2. That's what the Dow Jones Industrial does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And wave 2, and it went into wave 3, wave 4 area, and up further to wave 5. And that's what I think it did over here, guys. So the markets, S&P and everything, more than likely, when it's done with its correction, are going to be going bullish, guys. It's got more to go. I think 32,100, 200 are in that area. See, a lot of the bulls right now are hoping it doesn't break that low. You actually want it to break that low. Okay? You actually want the Dow Jones to come right down here, and you have your nice little bull flag. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 2, and it's going to go up into a 3, in my opinion, guys. The other option is A, B, and a C. And it's 3-way move and A, B, C, and it's going to crash over here. That is an option. But either way, there's going to be a leg. If it is a C, it'll be a stronger leg, in my opinion, than it is a wave 3. The wave 3 will be lazy probably for the Dow Jones Industrial. So it'll go up into a wave 1, 2, and this third wave will go like this. Something like that. Okay? And if it's a C, it could actually be strong. A, B, and that C wave could go like that. But that's neither here nor there. That's less semantics, and that's just a little, hypothetical stuff. But I do think the Dow Jones showed its hand yesterday or this past week of what it's doing. Okay, for me, it is. It builds my confidence more that the markets in 2023, S&P, probably the NASDAQ, well, obviously the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones will be going bullish at some point. It's just been in a wave 2 correction since November of 22 and sitting over here. And the Dow Jones bottomed right here in September of 22. And it's going into that wave. So going over Bitcoin. That leaves us with Bitcoin, guys, and crypto channel. So we want to go over and check out Bitcoin and just go through this whole thing right here. I was looking at this, guys, and you can see here's the Bitcoin's wave sequence right here, right? I went all through this. Here it is in the RSI, okay? So we have the price and we have the momentum, okay? The momentum of the waves in this area. And you have a wave 1. More than likely, the wave 1 ended up like right there or something like that, because this looks like a flat move right here, guys. Another flat right there. And it came back down, and then you have this little miniature wave 1, 2, and it came all the way up. This is the wave with the most momentum, that third wave right there. And you can see in the RSI, it corrected it, and it went back up again. And you can see this massive correction creating what? Hidden bullish divergence, and it went up again. Okay. Now, it seems reasonable that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That seems reasonable, right? And then it's going to come back and do this. It's going to come back and do this nice A, B, C into this area, or maybe over here, just like into this area. But the problem I have with that is that's way too easy. That's too easy, guys. To have a 5-wave move of that size right there in a 3-wave pullback, everybody and their brother is going to know to buy that. And the markets never work like that. They're never that easy. Okay? So the issue so here in this area is, so you see all these little waves right here? You have a whole bunch of 1, 2s, 1, 2s, or maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it went up like that, right? There's a shot. You do have a shot that this whole thing back over to here and back up somehow potentially was the third wave. Okay? So you have a third wave peak here. Okay? Third. And then this is the third, because this is pretty strong wave right there, guys. That's a pretty strong wave. So what I'm saying is that this whole thing could be the third, or it could be extending or doing something like that. And then maybe this in this area is the fourth, and then it's going up again, guys, like that. Okay? You can't rule that out. Now, the reason I say that is you see this wave right here? Boom, and went up there, 25,200 more or less. Hit this resistance area, right? Everybody put in their shorts, and they think it's going to be going down. They're going to become millionaires on this trek down. Could happen, maybe. But here's the issue right here in this wave, and all the way back down here. Once again, giving you a bullish signal, in my opinion. So it's corrected this right here, right? It came back around and corrected that cycle, and that's over here correcting another cycle. So the issue is, what is going on? There's so many different ways you can go with this. You know, you can't rule out this either, guys. This whole thing is a 1. And it's coming back down for a shallow 2. And then it's whizzing back up into a 3, guys. I mean, you really can't. There's so many different ways just because of how much this is going around. So what I would say is that, you know, this is looking like a flat. You know, I mean, like right now, you'd expect like if it is a back down, maybe back down a little bit more up into a 3-wave swing and then coming back around that way or something like that. But my guess is my first trend area that I want to pay attention to with Bitcoin is right on this trend. Okay, because here's what I think. Here's what I think with Bitcoin. If it's not going to significantly break down to these areas, like back down to 20,500, and you kind of just see it hang out, and it's hanging out in this area on this trend. So you got this support on top of here, and then this trend right here. This whole thing, this whole area, guys, could be like become like a like this correction area that it's doing. It's like right in here and right into that area. And then you see kind of like this, and it's coming back all the way back down here again. This whole area right here could be for another freaking whopper of a move on Bitcoin, guys. That's how I'm looking at that. That seriously can't happen. You know, once it gets into these waves, the whole thing, and maybe a 3rd wave extension or something that's going on, like that seriously can't happen. You take a look at this area, guys, you know, like when it starts ripping, think about this. Let's go over to its wave over here. You see a little wave, and then look, you know, it was just off, guys. And you know, or it could be something in this, like this area right here. You see, this is a flat move, came back down, reset it, and it was off right here in this area, guys. You know, this whole thing right here be 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this right here is 1, 2. And you think, right? So here's the thought. We're over here, right? Okay, we're over here. But I'm going to use this as an example. Like, here's your 1, 2. And see how shallow that is? So where do wave 2s correct to? They're supposed to correct 50%. Okay, so let me take this off and make sure I don't count. So I'm going to count this whole thing. Like, there it is right there. Look where it corrected to. It's like this was supposed to come off according to the rules, right? Or not the rules, or the guidelines. This was supposed to come all the way back down here. But it didn't. It didn't. Now, this is a bad example, guys, because it's in a wave 3. And wave 3s are notorious for having shallow corrections in cryptocurrencies. But, you know, you really can't rule that out, what's going on over here with Bitcoin, guys. You know, so like I said, guys, I wouldn't get like super bearish until you start seeing more signals and breaking down to the 20,400, 700 area, guys. That's my take on it with Bitcoin, because the signals right now, I can go to a 6-hour chart, you know, look at a 6-hour chart here. Here's this peak, reset all the way back over here, resetting it pretty good over here. You know, it could be setting itself up for that, guys. So I would just be, you know, maybe getting yourself ready for something over here. I would be looking at a time like somewhere in the beginning of March. And the reason I say that is because I think the Dow Jones has a little bit more to go. I think the DXY needs to thrust up a little bit more. And I think gold, you come over here to the gold chart, and let's whiz down here to gold. Gold's dropping like a rock. I think gold has a little bit more to go, but you see here in the 6-hour that it's slowing up. I'm kind of low end target, 1780, 1790. I think 1790 is in the list too. 1790 area. Once this bottoms potentially, okay? And there's some gold traders that trade gold that are waiting for this spot down here, guys. They're kind of expecting gold to bottom. Gold traders. I don't trade gold, but you pay attention to this, because with this bottoms, this going up, the DXY is going down, the markets will go up. Okay. And what's the other one too? The SPX, I think it might have a little bit more to play around in here to struggle out in this area. Okay, in this area right here, and putting it all together. Dow Jones down a little bit more, and Bitcoin. I'm looking at Bitcoin, guys, to stay kind of in that area to see if that's going to be happening with Bitcoin. Right in that area, guys. That's what I'm checking out. Like this area right here. Boom, 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 boom. Come back up a little bit, maybe back down in this area to see if it maintains that area. And if it does, guys. You know, I'm telling you right now, this thing could be like boom, boom, boom. It's come back up here, back in this area, and this thing could be getting ready to go wham, just like that. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.